Okay, this is a little demo for the Rhino drafter on the EnneadTab. The location is under here under this Rhino Revit tab, Rhino drafter. Once you have this, what you can do is to convert, export the content in the current view into Rhino, where you have better drafting tool available, and you draft detailed lines, room boundaries, room boundary lines, area boundary lines, and few regions in there, and convert it back to Revit. And the step in here is labeled like step 1, 2, 3, 4. You just follow all of this. You should be able to do things quite easily. So the first thing let's demonstrate is, let's say, on the elevation view. Open it up. So here says go to the view drafting, which is this one. You can also expand on the node to see additional helper. But if you know what you're doing, you can just follow this. Here they have the checkbox to initiate a new empty Rhino each time, or you can choose to recycle the same Rhino, because initializing a Rhino, it takes a few seconds. You can see on lower, the new empty Rhino is starting. It's important to use the empty Rhino because otherwise you may accidentally bring in contents from other coordinates in the file, which was inherited from the previous views. Starting an empty Rhino every time will guarantee that what you're drafting is the same as the view you have there. Once you go back to start this Rhino file, you can follow on step 2. Like found this icon, left click on the logo. So that would be left click on that. And what you do is pull up the data from the DWG and also establish a layer system for all the available detail lines. All the available line styles you have in the file, as well as all the field region types in here, which comes very handy. Let's say if you want to trace an outline of this building. Let's see. Don't need that. I need that. And just pick, let's say, the elevation outline, this 0.5. Go something very big. And you can use the curve boolean tool, which give you the outline immediately. Rid of the actual line, and now you're left with this. We don't need a tree. Have that. So that line is on the curve layer. We can also do, just to demonstrate purposely, you would do this per your need. Let's say you have arcs, right? Or even funky one shapes. You have some shape like that. Add a new you can put that surface into any of the available field regions. Right? You got that, or you can do the trimming around it, or anything like Rhino will allow you to do, like splitting. Yeah, so any of those things you can do, you can assign it to different layer, which correspond to the different field regions. See, this under the field region portion, this is under the curve portion. Those are the two primary. So now you have the things you want. On the third step is to get things out from Rhino. So again, on this icon, right-click on the button. Right-click on the button. We'll export a temporary JSON file between, and in here, that's where we will pick up the content. So on this view, let's say generate the content based on the file you drafted over there. You can either group it or not group it. That's per your preference or your A's preference. But let's say I want to do it. I drafted too big. Yeah. So if I show the whole thing, this is what I just brought in, right? So you can see the fill region trimmed per the shape I was doing there. All of this shape is there, and it even accept the the freeform NURBS curve as a bounding. This gives you flexibility in terms of like trimming things around in Rhino, which you cannot do any trimming for on the Revit side. All of those things are the true arc, yeah, like what we're defining there. We didn't pick a number, so like this is 945.1 for 5.1.2. Based on the model accuracy, tolerance, unit tolerance, like, but you get the idea. They're the same definition between the two. This is the elevation we trace around, like with the second line, and you can see the map to the same line style as what we have in the layer over there. It's around the same. You may also consider doing this in a kind of an area boundary line. So let's say you have an area line, area plans here, and you want to get the in and out of all of these moulins. It's very tedious to do in Revit, but you can do that in Rhino, again, with the help of Boolean. So yeah, initiate a new one. I already have one. Initiate a new one. Yeah, they have a warning previously because I already have a same named file opened. So I just close my old testing file and then try it again. It will just work. Again, this thing pull up. Let's use the same button, left click to get in the data, get in the background data, as well as all the available line styles. In this case, we'll be using the area boundary lines. You can imagine this not only for the area boundary lines, but also for, let's say, the detail 1 to 10 drawings where you want to do the tracing around the profile, thickening of the outline, or any those kind of drafting. Also, I have a request a couple of days ago regarding the glass solid ratio on the facade, which involves a lot of customized field region tracing on the elevation, and you can imagine that thing being handy if we have tools like this. So now the things there. And we don't need to do the whole thing. We can just focus on one part. So again, pick the area boundary line. That's the layer we'll be using. Do that. What's this? Check around that. Trim around that. You can imagine doing that manually, going in and out with a small line could be like, and this is a simple one. Like if you are doing a complex shape or curvature shape, tracing around that could be difficult. But with the help of this, you can quickly go around it. All right. So get rid of the excessive one. Only left with very, see all of this extra tracing around. So right click. Worth mentioning, like the area boundary line here, as well as the space separation line. those two will be treated similarly. Like it's the same process. If you want to get a customized space, not space tracing, sorry, a room separation line. If you have a complex or customized shape you want to trace around, use this. It will generate the functional one. So right now, let's right click, go back to here. We already did step 2 and step 3, which is like drafting and exporting. So in here, generating, clicking get in, and now it's in. This is actually functional area boundary line. Like you can get a room bounding around it. And that's the actual area. There you go, the colors in. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.